Hello, hello. It is Sarah Waggle, astrologer and leadership coach here for Wellness Astrology, this time for the moon in Pisces. This is February 27th and 28th. This is the new moon in Pisces. Before I jump into this forecast, I'm recording this for the second time because the first one that I did, I completely ranted. And I might refilm my rant and post it separately, but I decided that I would come back in here a little bit in a different. Okay, if you want the rant, it might already be posted because I might just, grow a pair and post it. But if it's not posted and you want to hear the rant that I had, drop me a comment and let me know. And I'll post the rant. Okay. Hopefully the sun and rising signs video is posted and linked below. If you want to check out how this new moon will affect your particular sun and rising sign, I will tell you that if you are a Pisces sun or rising, Gemini sun or rising, Virgo sun or rising, Sagittarius sun or rising, or if you are a Scorpio or Cancer sun or rising, then this moon will probably affect you more than the rest of us. But that doesn't mean that just because you have a any one of those sun or rising signs, it'll mean that you don't have something in Pisces that's being hit by this new moon in Pisces. So, and Pisces is somewhere in your chart, even if you have no planets there. So there's that. This is also the new moon prior to the lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 14th. And so by the time this video airs, I will likely have posted the eclipse special that I will have going on. I just informed my newsletter subs about it recently, and so I might post something about that here on YouTube. So always check my community section. You never know what surprises I'm going to pop in and put there. And so because these eclipses are this new moon, the last full moon in Leo on the 12th, these eclipses are potent. There's a lot of movement over the next couple of months, not only with the eclipses, but then we have Venus and Mercury retrograde. So two personal planets going retrograde in the same span of energy, meaning they're both stationing retrograde in early degrees of Aries and both retrograding back into Pisces. So this whole Aries, Pisces, and even Libra, Virgo areas, and that would then include the cardinal signs. So Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. So the only people kind of not really affected, haha, are the fixed signs. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, but we got Pluto, so we're not completely off the hook here. Anyway, but I say all that to say, like, this is a big, big time energy, which is why I will most likely go back and re-record the rant that I did on this new moon forecast and post it, because I think some people need to hear me say some shit. And whether you like it or not, you may need to hear it. I feel like I'm like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but we all need to hear it. Okay. So let's take a look at this new moon chart. And then I want to talk about the Sabian symbol for 17 Cancer, because that's where Mars is camped out right now. We did this before with Jupiter at 11 degrees of Gemini. So we're going to do it again, and hopefully you guys like it. Okay, one sec. All right, here we go. So this new moon is peaking at on February 27th at 6:44 p.m. so 18:44 Central Time. We're at 9 degrees of Pisces. We want to really look close at Pisces here. We've got the moon and sun conjunct at 9 degrees Pisces. We've got Saturn at 20, Mercury at 24, North Node at 27, and Neptune at 28. Does anybody know why this new moon is not a solar eclipse? Anyone? Anyone? I feel like Ferris Bueller. Okay, it's because it is too far away. So eclipses occur when there is a new moon or a full moon within 18 degrees of the nodes. This is not within 18 degrees. I mean, it's close, technically, because 27, 17, Um, 9. Yeah. It's close, but I don't I'm not, I wouldn't label it an eclipse. It's not close enough to be an eclipse, but that's okay. Um okay. So um I mean it's like just if I really do the math, 17. If I really do the math, it's like right on the cusp of not being an eclipse. Anyway, it's not an eclipse. So, but it's going to feel like one. That's okay. And so did the last Leo full moon in February 12th. So, either way. All right, moving right along. This new moon is square to Jupiter at 12 degrees of Gemini. So whatever is going on here, and Jupiter is now direct, is going to be a bit amplified. And so this being Pisces, Pisces rules what? Water, ocean, right? Ocean water, ocean life. It also rules like healthcare, hospitals, institutions, mental institutions, prisons. We've talked about like the ball and chain before. It also rules things like fuel or like liquid, like chemical liquids and things like that. I don't know. I'm pretty sure insulin and other types of like liquid medications would fall into this category. And so I don't know if you are an insulin user, maybe you can let me know if your insulin was like more effective or like, maybe you have like a reaction or something, or you don't need as much insulin during this movement. I don't know. I'm just guessing on that one. I really have no idea whether that would be a thing or not. But it very well could be. But okay, so there could also be information. Because we have Mercury. This is also a really good time to be like disciplined about your spirituality, maybe spend a little bit more time being quiet, being being around water, being cleansed by water, take a good shower, be in some hot springs. If you can access the ocean, maybe getting into the ocean, cleanse your feet. Um, Things like that. This is also a good opportunity for grounding and being attentive to your nervous system. We've talked about that so many times recently. Um, I don't know. We've seen so much flooding this year already, and more like ice and water type storms, like ice, snow, flooding type storms, more than usual, I feel like, or at least more for the last several years. That type of thing. So waterways, water transport, so cargo, things like that could be a thing. Let's see what else uh, could be a thing here. Um, it being a dark moon, good, like I said, hydration, electrolytes, being balanced, having balanced electrolytes, knowing what it feels like when your body needs electrolytes, when you're dehydrated, like cottonmouth or something like that. I would, highly suggest refraining from alcohol or other substances. I believe the energy is going to be foggy and delusional and illusional enough that you're not going to need anything else to cloud your judgment or to cloud your brain. And that might go true for things like, excess sugar. This might be a good time to be a little bit cleaner with your eating, like fresh fruits and vegetables if possible. Certainly things like root vegetables to balance your root chakra. Consuming, like I said, fresh foods. Red meat would be a good thing. Also, fish would be a good thing if you can get some good fish. Um, I say red meat because it's connected to the root chakra. However, fish would be good, like good, to promote like good healthy fats, like the omega 3s, the omega 6s, things like that. Not canned tuna. That does not count, although it's good and I eat it too. But I'm talking about like some sort of like what is a good fatty fish, like salmon, like good quality salmon, or Tilapia is good, but it's not like, I don't know. What's the fish that's like, there's another fish that's like better than tilapia, but it tastes like tilapia. And I can't remember it off the top of my head, but whatever. But like some good quality fish would be good, or some sort of seafood would be good. Fresh fruits and vegetables would be good. That'd be hydrating. Um, but okay, watch your mental state, watch the mental state of those around you. I think this could, this much water, particularly mutable water with a mutable Gemini, mutable air, information. Guys, we really don't know everything that's going on, and you really cannot believe everything at face value. I'm just as guilty here because I hear things and I'm like, is that really what's happening? You actually need to go find the and I don't do this. I let other people do this and then go listen to their videos about it. But you can actually go to the government websites to actually like download the bills, download the I think you can download the executive orders. I don't know. Again, I let other people do that research. I don't want to. But my point here is that if you go on, social media and you believe the first person who shoots out of the gate saying, they're doing this and they're doing this and blah, 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 blah. You don't actually know that. It could just be that they're shuffling things around to make things a little bit more cohesive in the system. And remember, we're still dealing with restructuring of the systems and the structures. It's going to be clunky for a while. And a South Node in Virgo, people are going to have shifts in their jobs, in their daily routines. Yes, health, benefits, health, things like that can be factored into the equation. So have a backup plan if you feel like you could have a vulnerability there. And that could be any kind of job, whether you are in manufacturing, labor, or education, or otherwise. Like everything's up for it at this point. So, okay. All right. And then Mars camping out there at 17 Cancer, where he's going to be for a continued hot minute. Sorry, I keep fucking it up. He's going to be there for a continued hot minute. So let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for 17 degrees Cancer, where Mars is for the next while. So let me okay. So this is the Sabian symbol for 17 degrees of Cancer. I'm just going to read it straight from, I just searched for Sabian symbol 17 degrees Cancer. It says the unfoldment of multi-level potentialities issuing from an original germ or seed. And then the keynote says the life urge to actualize one's birth potential. And so what I get from this is like you're being nudged and urged to follow your life mission, your soul's mission. And this is why I'm saying, and this is actually why I ranted on the original recording of this, but like, this is why I'm saying, like, you need to take responsibility for tuning into your intuition. You need to take responsibility for, connecting yourself with God, source, universe, with your spirit guides, with your animal guides, your support team, and all of that. And this is why I also say, like, having therapy, having coaching to continue to clear out that root chakra and that sacral chakra and that solar plexus chakra. Like, look, your chakras ain't working correctly if you do not poop once a day. No joke. Okay. At least once a day. you should be pooping. Okay. Like that's really how you know. And if you have like hip or hip junction pain, like I used to have it, like debilitating hip junction pain, like pain in my hips, pain in my lower spine. Okay. And when I started doing Reiki and really started working my root chakra, is when a lot of that cleared. Okay. Still get it occasionally when I'm get triggered, but anyway, so my whole rant was that. So, and I may still post the rant. Anyway, so that's what I got for this new moon. It's a lot of energy. It's a lot to process. I am sure my videos are getting longer, and I don't apologize for that because I think there's a lot that needs to be said right now. If you don't like me going slow, come up here to the top corner. There's a little gear that says more options with a screen reader. Tap on it, and then it's going to say playback speed normal. Click on normal and come down to like 1.25 or 1.5, however fast you need me to be to speed me up. I listen to people on 1.25 minimum. So most people are too slow for me. I listen to books on like 1.7. So but the point is that Mars camped out there at 17 is kind of this like, what are you planting? You know, this is why we've been in this energy of Mars retrograde since December 6th. And that's why the energy has been so slow from Capricorn to Aquarius and now into Pisces. This is why this energy has been slow. It's been this opportunity for you to shut everything off. It's also why the information has been so damn confusing, foggy, and all of that. It's been this opportunity for you to slow the fuck down and actually listen to your soul, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut, because we're getting to a point. Oh, Sarah, don't go down the rant rabbit hole again, but we're getting to a point where your victim story ain't gonna work anymore. I'm gonna leave it at that. Man, I so want to rant, but I also don't want an hour-long video. The rant may come out before this video comes out, to be honest. Oh, look at that. We got the 5 of water, which in this deck is represented by mermaids, but the 5 of water is also the 5 of cups in traditional tarot. Okay, it says okay, things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Yes. Not seeing the positive in a situation and crying over spilled milk. Okay, so things not turning out how you thought, things going a different direction, and crying over spilled milk. Because I said at the beginning of this fucking year that if you thought you had it all figured out, you were wrong. You don't have it all figured out yet, because none of us does, because there's too much about to change. Okay. I love these cards. Aren't they pretty? Okay. But this is for real, right? It doesn't, nothing looks as it seems, or it's not going the way we had hoped, right? Because a lot of things are changing at like structural, like think about, okay, I want you to think about a city like Chicago. If you've been to Chicago, I used to live in Chicago, but like San Francisco or the Bay Area, or I'm sure New York is this way. I've never been to New York, but I'm pretty sure it's all the same. Like you've been to some place like Chicago, and if you've ever like taken the L or taken Metra or taken their transit system, or even if you have driven on the expressways in Chicago, first of all, I'm so sorry because I people driving in Chicago sucks. But like that's all considered infrastructure, but that's literal infrastructure. right? We then have like the government infrastructure. And for a city like Chicago, you have like the mayor of Chicago, you have then the aldermans for the different neighborhoods. And I'm sure there's other reps and everything like that within each neighborhood, right? Within that. And then if you are in like a condo association or an HOA, then you've got like that leadership to deal with. Okay. So you've got like a bazillion layers of leadership before you could even get to the mayor, right? And then from the mayor of the city, you have to go to the county. And then from the county, you have to go to your state rep. And then you go to the governor and then blah, 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 right? Okay. So when you're talking about like the infrastructure of a government, like you can't just start with the federal government. You've got to go to the state, but then you can't just go to the state if you're not going to your county, and you can't go to your county unless you go to your city. And then you can't go to the mayor of your city, you have to go to the alderman of your city, of your neighborhood, right? Now, this works in a metropolitan area. Like place where I live, I would go straight to my county, right? Because I live in a small county. But other place, like I've lived in Chicago, I've lived in the Bay Area, and I'm sure many of you live in different size cities, but you have to start with the small, because the reality is that as we move it further into Pluto and Aquarius, it's going to come down to, it's going to be more important for you to go into your local government, local, like your county board, your, your I don't know how it works in Chicago. I wasn't really involved in government there. But like your alderman meetings, or like if you've got like a transit board, going to a transit board meeting, that's where the change starts. It doesn't start with the federal government, the Department of Transit and the Secretary of this and the whatever. It's all going to come down to local pockets of government. So if it's not going the way you wanted it to go, start at your local level. That's where it starts. It's all being redistributed to states and local governments. And yes, I do go to local county board meetings. So there. I don't say anything, I don't have anything to contribute, but I am learning a lot about like how these people operate and all of that. So I don't have much interest in actually getting involved politically, but I do like going to the county board meetings and finding out what's going on in my county. Do you do that? Do you go to the county meetings? Because the reality is that it doesn't matter if there is an audio pedestrian signal in a town 30 minutes away from me, and every time I go to that town, I'm in somebody's car. That's not important. What's important is the audio pedestrian signal at the intersection a block away from my house that doesn't have an audio pedestrian signal, but I walk through that intersection multiple times a week. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? And in the self-care, we got number 43, which is rest. Geez, we've had this card multiple times. I've been filming all day and I've drawn this card 3 times. So, rest. Rest, quiet, turn your devices off, turn your home pod thing, whatever the fuck it's called, off. I don't know. I don't have one. I don't want one. I don't want any technology in my house beyond what I have, which is my internet and my laptop and my streaming stuff. But rest. Because I feel like what people are going to find out is what I've been learning over the last several months is that the more you rest and the more you turn off your devices, your notifications, your pingings and dingings and all of the things, is you'll realize that that is actually harder on your nervous system than you realize. And yeah. So rest, rest, rest. Take advantage of this time. Mars is not moving. Venus is getting ready to go retrograde. So You got all of this time to really focus on resting and tuning into your physical body and hearing its messages so that you can learn your intuition, learn how your spirit guides communicate with you so that then you can't come back and say, I don't know how to be spiritual. Yeah, you do. You're a spiritual being. All right. If you really want the rant, leave me a comment, but I'm probably going to film it anyway, and we'll see if anybody wants to see it. All right. I'll talk to you guys next time.